Welcome to episode 19 of Retrotopia, and this week we have a special episode because Sam won't be here in the intro, which means
I can do as I please and take over the whole podcast, turning it into pure evil.
And today we are going to pull a chat from the backlog, and we're going to be talking Capcom's classic arcade-turned-NES game 1943 Battle for Midway. And the reason Sam couldn't be here this week is work got in the way of our fun, and I don't like it. I have a little bit of extra free time. Sam has to pay the bills somehow, and he just is not taking my suggestion of working the corner. But before Sam left, he told me I could have 3 popsicles out of the fridge, and I've already eaten 2 of them, and the third one is currently melting on the table to be left as a mess for when he returns. Now, if you want to wish Sam well on his trip away from the microphone, you can find him on our socials at linktree/Retrotopia. That is linktr.ee/Retrotopia, where you can find a link to join our Discord. Now, before I get into the actual show, some people decided to leave some nice comments about Sam on the Discord there. So after this jaunty little tune I put together, I will come back and read some comments from our friends. And our first comment this week comes from Retro Alcatraz. He says, "Hi there, Brian. Given that Sam is away at the moment and you are completely unsupervised, just exactly how naked are you?" "Quite naked, thank you very much. I've been told," he continues, "to tell you that there are emergency numbers on the fridge, money for pizza, and to be sure to have the place tidied up by the time he gets back, or it's a paddling for you." Now, don't threaten me with a good time there, Retro Alcatraz, because the paddling sounds more interesting than cleaning up after myself. So we will see what happens next week when Sam gets back. And next up, we have Super Dave. And he says Brian doesn't have his annoying younger sibling to rat on him to the parents this week. No, I don't, Super Dave, and it is fantastic. Being a younger sibling myself, it is the duty of the younger one to rat on the older one, and I made sure my brother knew that quite well, even though I was the one who got in trouble all the time because my parents never believed me. But, you always got to do what you got to do. Next up, we have Dapokes, one of our newest members to the Discord, and a very, very smart young lady who likes the long dark like I do, and some reason sees something in Sam, which I also do too. Wink. And she says, glad the best half of the podcast gets to carry the show. And I thank you for that, because let's be honest, Sam is just the looks, the voice, the personality. He is literally the frontman of our, 2-man band. Well, I sit in the background in the dark corner and nobody recognizes me. This looks like another moment for me to go cry in the shower, because when you cry in the shower, nobody knows you're crying. That is Retrotopia sponsored content right there. So next up, we have Savagery, who says, "So Brian, although you're by your lonesome this week, I'm wondering if you made a tier list of cookies and at least slot one type of cookie from S to E and let us know the results." There's a question somewhere in there. There's just no question mark. So I wrote this down. I'm going to start from the E tier. And the E tier is, I don't know the name of them, but those cookies you give to your baby for helping teething digestion. I can't remember what they're called for life of me, but I tried one, and they are just garbage. Oddly enough, every cookie on this up from D through S I would actually recommend, because there is really no bad cookie. Just a bunch of cookies that you really like less than the other one. So at the D tier, I have the Oreos. It bumps up if you have the mint filling on the Oreos that comes out around St. Paddy's Day. The C tier cookie is the M&M Oreos you can get at Subway, at least here in Canada. They are just soft, gooey, and fantastic. B tier, we have homemade oatmeal cookies. I mean, my God, if you don't like homemade oatmeal cookies, you don't like life. The A tier, you have the straight up chocolate chip, because let's go with the OG classic right there. Chocolate chip cookies are great, but there is one cookie that beats them all. And that is chocolate with peanut butter chips. Oh my God, those things are great. And I think you can get them at Subway as well, but homemade is actually way better and definitely a lot softer. So there is my cookie list from E to S. And once again, chocolate with peanut butter chips wins the day always. Hopefully that satisfies the non-question question. So up last, we have Unbuckled Cape, and he says, "I miss Sam already. Can you say boo to a B just for him?" And anything for you, Unbuckled. So for you, booby. Oh, I should have got Alcatraz to say that. That would have, oh my god. We would have got canceled because it was so sexy. Turn this podcast from R-rated to XXX. Oh, can't wait for you guys to hear him. Such a beautiful man. All right, that is all the questions we have. Thank you very much, guys, or I guess questions and comments, but thank you very much. So before I kind of move into the big data dump section in the middle here, I'm going to get into a little bit of what I've been playing, and I'm going to tell you the only thing I've been playing for the last 3 days as of this recording, because it is March 2nd, has been Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and fantastic graphics. The gameplay has been updated without ruining it. It's added to it and taken nothing away, really, except for that stupid sword, your weapon grid system I didn't really enjoy to begin with, but nevertheless, they improved on that. The music is just sublime. It was just fantastic throughout the game. You get those classic tracks updated for, 2024. And so far, I haven't got too far into it, but the story has done a couple of twists and turns, and it has been very good so far. Next week, I believe we're talking one of the Draculas, so we're going to have to, I'm going to have to buckle down and play one of those. I definitely have Dracula X loaded up, but Sam has been talking about Bloodlines as well, so we'll see what happens next week. So, now, even without Sam here, somebody's going to have to talk about 1943 in a bland and monotone voice, put over some music, and that's going to be me, of course. I tried to get an AI to do it, and it sounded so bad that I couldn't do it. I had to turn it off. So when we come back, when it's over, I'm going to play or do a little comments before the show. I guess one comment there. And then play a little music like some other popular podcasts do. And then we'll get into the talk that me and Sam recorded a few weeks ago. 1943, The Battle of Midway is a classic arcade shoot-'em-up game developed and published by Capcom for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Released in 1987, it is a sequel to the popular title 1942. It builds upon its success by delivering an intense and engaging gaming experience. The development of 1943 began when the shoot-'em-up genre gained immense popularity in the gaming industry. Capcom aimed to capitalize on the success of its predecessor, 1942, which had established a solid foundation for the series. The development team, led by Yoshiki Okamoto, focused on refining the gameplay mechanics and introducing new features to enhance the gaming experience. One notable improvement in the 1943 game was the shift from single-player format to a cooperative two-player mode, allowing friends to join forces in the battle against the enemy forces. This addition added a layer of strategy and camaraderie, making the game more appealing to players who enjoyed collaborative gameplay. The cooperative mode was a significant innovation for its time and contributed to the game's popularity. The game is set in the Pacific theater of World War II, specifically during the Battle of Midway. Players take on the role of a P-38 Lightning pilot tasked with confronting the overwhelming naval and aerial forces of the Imperial Japanese Navy. The objective is to progress through various stages, each representing different locations and battles, ultimately reaching the final showdown with a powerful enemy fleet. 1943's gameplay is characterized by fast-paced action, challenging enemy patterns, and various power-ups and upgrades. Players navigate their aircraft through the waves of enemy planes, ships, and ground targets while dodging bullets and launching counterattacks. The game's difficulty gradually increases, providing a satisfying challenge for novice and experienced players. One notable feature of 1943 is the energy bar system. Unlike traditional lives or one-hit mechanics, players have an energy bar that depletes as they take damage. This innovative approach allowed players to sustain multiple hits before facing defeat, providing a fairer and more forgiving experience. The energy bar can be replenished by collecting power-ups, encouraging strategic and efficient gameplay. The graphics and sounds of 1943 are notable for their quality on the NES platform. The game's visuals effectively convey the intensity of aerial combat with the detailed sprites and backgrounds. The soundtrack complements the action, featuring energetic and memorable tunes that enhance the game's overall atmosphere. Upon its release, 1943 received widespread acclaim for its addictive gameplay, cooperative mode, and technical achievements on the NES. The game's success solidified Capcom's position as a prominent developer in the arcade and console gaming industry. Over the years, 1943 has become a cherished classic, remembered for its contribution to the shoot-'em-up genre and its role in shaping the game's landscape for the 1980s. All right, that was the data dump. I don't even know what to technically call it. We call it Tombstone data together, but it's not really Tombstone data because we're just kind of just dumping whatever the hell we can find on about the game there. But before I flip over to the pre-recorded discussion, I'm going to pop off the one comment we have, throw some music up there, and then I'm going to put in the spot where Sam and I talk about 1943. So our first comment, our only comment, comes from McGee, a very beautiful man. He says, "I like planes." Well said, McGee. Well said. And honestly, I could not have said it better myself. All right, so that's it. Thanks, McGee, for the one comment. Very, very insightful. We are going to move into the chat now, so thank you for indulging me. Sam will be back next week. All right, let's take off. All right, shall we get this started?
Yes. Do you want me to start it off?
Well, you can do whatever you want. You're a sweet man. You take control of me, baby.
Okay. All right. Well, this week we are talking 1943 for the arcade, and it was ported to several other systems, notably the Nintendo Entertainment System. So, Brian, why did we choose this game? What are we talking about here?
We're talking about the classic game 1943, or as the French call it, 1983. The Battle of Midway was an arcade game ported over to consoles, most notably the NES. And it is a game that has quite the fun little mechanic of the top down view of your airplane. And you take on the, I guess, Japanese Navy is what it's supposed to be, but there's a little controversy on that. But yeah, you just basically take on the Navy all by yourself. It's one man versus the world again.
Yeah, it's like there is a Japanese version I found because as I don't know when this is going to go live. This is the first of our kind of backlog little mini episodes. But my company just renovated their offices and put in this like really nifty like arcade machine that's like an emulator and has all kinds of shit on it. And it has like I recently found out that there is the like American or North American version of 1943, which is what we're used to in the arcades on the NES and all that. And then there's like this one called 1943 Kaizen, which was like just the Japanese version, which I mean, it doesn't matter because it's a very simple game. You don't have to like read or anything. So
Yeah,
whatever one
it's
you
not
play, I think they're pretty
anything
much
that's
the
going to change the mechanics just because they changed the names.
same. Right. Do you have any history with this game? Like,
well,
did you play this a
beyond
lot when you were
the
a kid?
uh, basically beyond. I think remember those like 68 and 1 cartridges that your dad would bring home from some random place.
No, but I've
Really,
heard of it. Yeah, I've heard of
you
those.
don't
Yeah,
remember that? Jesus
they were
Christ, my
like
dad
kind of
had brought
bootlegs,
home
right?
like 5 of those,
Jeez,
but
they
they
were like
always
boot.
had.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. They always had like a big collection of games inside of them, and they were obviously bootlegged. And you don't know where they come from, but your dad always brings one home there, and he considers it buying you 100 games in one,
Well,
even though it cost
he's
him
not wrong.
$5. Well, he's not wrong, but none of the games are to write home about. And 1943 and 1942, the prequel to this game,
Hmm.
was actually on that cartridge. So that's the first time I ever played it, and it was fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, but again, when you get those cartridges, you get like Lunar Pool and Mappy and stuff like that. So it's short games for the most part.
Is Lunar Pool that one like Commodore 64 game where like you try to like navigate the Moonlander through caves?
No, no, Lunar Pool is like it's tabletop pool.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
But it's done in like a futuristic style, and the tables change.
Yeah, I was thinking of this game that when I was a kid. I mean, sorry, this is off topic, but like maybe I'll find out what game this was. We can cover that one. But it was like this weird like Commodore 64 type like old computer game that was at the planetarium. And when we would take field trips there, it was always like a long line to see like who could play this like weird Moonlander game. And it was just navigating this like pixelated little craft through a cave basically, and if you touch the side you crashed.
I know what you're talking about. Like, it sounds familiar. I think
Yeah,
we had that at the Science Center up in Toronto, Ontario there back
yeah, it
in like the 90s.
seems like a pretty ubiquitous like kids museum type like cheapy computer game that's fun to play instead of learning.
Ubiquitous. Wow, we're gonna have to start a Patreon to pay for that $5 word.
Yeah. So if we have a Patreon at the point where this goes live, subscribe to our
We
Patreon and
don't.
buy some words for me.
Yeah. Even yeah, exactly. Like, get this guy a fucking thesaurus. God damn it.
um
Ubiquitous.
but my history with this game is this kind of similar, but I was much younger. I was probably like 3 or 4, and my dad brought home a 1-in-1 cartridge that was
One and
just
one.
1943.
Lame. How
So
many
we had
games were in it? One?
just one. It was 1943, and that was all that was on there. But it was the NES. We had the light gun with Duck Hunt and Super Mario Brothers, and we had 1943. And I think that was the only 2 games that we ever had for it. And by the time I'd gotten a couple years older, then that's when I got a Sega Genesis. So this was probably one of the first video games that I ever played.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good game. I remember actually playing this in the arcade, like the original arcade, not the my office is trying to bribe us and not wanting a raise arcade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's so simplistic, and all it is just basically how much you can focus on multiple things on a screen at once, and that's pretty much the entire game is just dodging bullets and planes.
Oh, and for sure, like my ability to focus on how much stuff is on the screen is clearly not enough because this
No,
game
not
is hard as
anymore.
shit.
Jesus Christ, no. I played this game a
uh,
few times there. I made it to level 2 and I was proud of myself. And I was like, "How many levels are there?" And there's like 25 friggin' levels.
oh yeah, there's a ton. And like luckily I mean, if you're playing in the arcade, I mean, it's just the game is just eating your quarters, and that's
Oh, yeah,
unless,
and
you
that's
get
what it's designed for. It's like all the
yeah.
good arcade games there would, be just fun enough to hook you, but hard enough to make you wanna, go buy that roll of quarters there and screw laundry.
Yeah, no kidding. Like at least the Nintendo cartridge had the password system. So if you were to make it to the next level, you could write down the passwords and um, advance. And it's not like advancing the levels got you any extra lives or any like additional power or anything. It was just you just move to the next level, and when you die, you get one shot.
Yeah, and that's, it's kind of funny how you die too, like, you can take a couple of hits there because you have, well, I guess kind of a power bar, but it's like a number in the bottom right corner that's constantly counting down. And if you
Yeah,
take hits, it just counts down faster. Or doesn't count down faster, but it like takes a chunk out of it. When it hits 0, you're down to like one hit, you're dead sort of situation.
yeah. I guess I never really remembered that, but I was like, oh come on, like it's like a timer. So
Yeah,
it
pretty much. And you have to find items along the way to actually kind of replenish it enough that you can make
yes.
it through the level.
And the hard part about that was like, in order to even get an item to come up on the map, for the most part, you have to shoot those series of little red planes.
Yeah.
And that's not too hard, except you do have to dodge it and you shoot the item to change what it is. So, like, that's how you select whether you get like a POW or the spread gun or um, like this, like little, it looks like a gas tank, I guess, is like the
It's a
energy.
barrel.
That's a barrel. Okay.
Yeah, you
But
just
it's
get
like,
more, I guess, gas or power, whatever you wanna call it.
yeah, but you have to, like, shoot it a bunch of times in order
Oh,
for it
yeah.
to change into that final form, and you have to be dodging around, and yeah, it can be tough, but, like, that's part of the strategy is to, like, go through it and make sure that you're focusing and you know where those red planes are coming in so that you can get ahead of it in time to turn it into health that you need. Otherwise,
Yeah,
like
and they
you're
always
kind of
do the
screwed.
stupid little like they fly onto the screen there and do a loop and then fly off the screen. They never really
Yeah.
shoot at you. Maybe once or twice they do, but their whole purpose there is just to get blown up so they can give you an item.
No, and I'd always be like missing just like one of the planes. Like if I would have just hit that one fucking plane, then I would have had the item. But no, it like something got in the way and then it kind of like swirled around and fucked off the map. It's like, God, come on.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I that happens to me more than I like to admit.
Yeah, because even in the first level gives you a pretty good taste of what you're gonna see for the rest of the game. Because there's, the planes that swoop in from the top and kind of just dive bomb your position and flip and come back. And then there's the red planes that come in from the side and do their little loop de loop, but don't really do anything else. And then there's some larger planes, and then the ones just kind of there's ones that just slowly kind of fly in and seem to just kind of run interference. They don't really do anything. And then there's another bigger one that actually drops planes out of it, which is a weird concept.
It's a
That
mama plane.
Yeah, but like planes didn't come out of planes back then, and I don't think they do now either. Like unless it's drones or whatever, but it's just a weird. It's not like an aircraft carrier. It's just like a big aircraft that little aircraft come out of.
Yeah, and I don't think this game is based right around reality there.
I demand realism from my 1988 whatever whenever this came out.
Why aren't the airplanes photorealistic on the Nintendo?
Yeah, why are they having planes come out of planes? That doesn't exist in real life. Come on.
Yeah. Do you know what type of plane it is you're flying at least?
Well, I can cheat, but no, I didn't know what kind of plane that was.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
at one point I did when I was a kid because I think I had like a toy of it.
yeah, P-38 Lightning. I just realized you're actually looking at the note sheet, and that was
Of
kind of a dumb question.
course, I'm looking at the note sheet.
Oh yeah, fuck. You know what? Maybe you shouldn't cheat. Maybe you should be straight and narrow, and tell the truth once in a while.
P-38 Lightning. I had to look this up. That is a fucking cool plane though.
It is.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I definitely had a toy of this, and that was
Yeah,
a
and I kind of like the plane in this one. The
yeah,
P-38 is actually, for me, an old Air Force guy. It's kind of one of the fun planes to learn about. But I like how they kind of utilize the loop de loop. Like you can actually do like loop de loop there in the middle to dodge bullets and stuff like that as one of your strategies. The only
yeah,
problem is you can't shoot at the same time. So if you come out of the loop de loop, kind of at the shitty position there, you're gonna get shot down.
yeah. Did the I'm kind of wondering just from a um yeah, central in the cell with a cockpit and armament. If you're not like everyone Google, I mean, unless you kind of remember playing this game, like just look up the Lockheed P-38 Lightning. It's a sweet looking plane. It's got like the two propellers on the side and like it's like a split fuselage down the back and then like the cockpit is up front in the wings and it's just like a really strange looking design, but I'm sure it's got some purpose behind why it was designed that way because it looks
Oh,
like it would be
you're
maybe
looking
like
at the evolution of aviation, where new designs
yeah,
and different styles were done. Like maybe the idea was a big hole in the middle would make it easier to fly if one of the wings went down or something. There's always a reason for this stuff.
yeah, or like maybe it's
Engineers are smarter than we are.
yeah, harder to hit, like you're trying to center your shot and you're just blowing bullets like down the middle where there's a gap.
Hit him in the center of mass, but there's a big hole.
But it's just a hole. Yeah, it's a cool looking plane, so everyone look it up. I wonder if it's more agile too, because it does do that flip in the game. So, but clearly we can't make a correlation between this game and real life because planes come out of planes.
Yeah, of course, mother planes and baby planes, and we just never see the father plane because he's taken off, and now he's sleeping with the side chick plane.
Jeez. And that's where all the planes are coming out, just spitting out babies.
Exactly. Like you laugh at me, but just you got to remember before we recorded this, and like 2 days ago, you were the one sending me pictures of Pokemon hentai.
Oh yeah. Everyone go listen to the whenever this comes out in the future, go listen to the I can't even remember what game we were talking about. Oh,
SimCity.
SimCity.
I think I cut that at the end. It was after we were done recording there. You went on a tangent about it.
Oh yeah. Well, we talked during the episode about it too a little bit,
Oh
but
yeah.
yeah, then
You're
afterwards I was like, look at this one and look at this one.
oh my god, we got to cover this game. Oh my god, we got to cover this game. So I'm pretty sure your pants were half off by the time we were done. Uh, but what would you call the antagonists of this game? If you're the protagonist, the P-38 Lightning ass kicking pilot, what would your opinion like? Obviously, they don't want to say it's the Japanese, but it's the
Yeah.
Japanese.
I mean, it's awkward, right? Because it's a game made by Capcom, and Capcom is in Japan, and it's, obviously the, Japanese developer made the game, but it's like the United States fighting Japan, or is it just planes fighting planes? I mean, it is the Battle of Midway, which is a huge World War II naval battle. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's based on. So I guess, yeah, you're fighting the Japanese.
Yeah, and your enemies are mostly just other planes of various sizes. Like you have ones
Yeah.
smaller than you, which take one hit. You got the large planes, which take multiple hits, and they're slow, so they're easy to hit. But they'll just launch bullets out their ass end there, and you just kind of
Yeah.
have to dodge and shoot them. Then you got to take out ships on the ground level.
Yeah, those were tough. Usually, like, those turrets on those ships would take so many hits that I would usually just kind of go off to the side and try to just stay out of their way and focus on the planes, and I would just leave the ships unless I had to
Yeah,
destroy it for some reason.
well, you got the boss ships and stuff like that as well. And
Yeah.
one nice thing about this game compared to 1942 is that you could boost your stats a little bit
Yeah.
right at the beginning.
Yeah, you can. And I tried. Okay, full disclosure, this game is hard as shit. Um, I've played it before. I've played it in the arcade. And it's one of those things you could just kind of play it and it's like, oh, it's fun, but I'm not gonna fucking beat this.
No,
Um, but like I tried so many different combinations. Like maybe if I boost my shields a little or my armor a little bit or like have a little stronger, it seemed to make no difference. It didn't matter.
no, it didn't. And throughout the levels, you can actually find things that'll actually boost your stats a little bit further. Like I always go full cannon there. I always go good offense is good defense. So
Yeah.
load up the cannon there because the more shit I can put on the ground, the happier I am, and then everything else just comes down to dodging.
Yeah. Might as well just go for the guns and go from there. Cause there's like you can boost like the special and there's a lot of slots for this. So I wonder if there were I never watched a playthrough of someone. I'm sure there's like dozens of playthroughs on YouTube of people beating this all the way through because
Oh yeah,
people are
there's always that
insane.
one guy who like perfected the game because he's never been outside and touched grass.
Oh yeah, like flawless playthrough where people don't get hit and it's like a freaking ridiculously hard game. Um, yeah, but it seems like um, there would maybe be a way to add more um, to each attribute because that initial screen has like 6 slots on each.
Yeah, and
Um,
you can add more attributes as you go throughout the game.
yeah.
There's an item that'll actually give you an opportunity to put another point on something.
Well, hell, I'm just never getting that far.
No, you're not. Like the items are they're not easy to find. Like you will find them along your way there, but it's kind of like taking out all the turrets on one of the ships there will give you one.
Right.
So, you find them, but that's where your initial strategy comes in, and that's to take out the turrets. It's easier to fully load your cannon at the beginning and hope you can get your defense up later, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and you really have to like you have to mash that fire button to get like um the best rate of fire because I
Oh
mean
yeah,
you can just kind of tap 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 but you're not going to you have to really be like feathering that button.
yeah. And if your
uh
forearm isn't on fire, you're not shooting fast enough.
yeah, my gosh. Like it's the same. Like I don't understand how people got good at this in the arcade because like I don't know about you, but that's not my muscle strength. My muscle like strength for video games comes out of the thumbs because that's what we're used to. But like just tapping a button like that just kills the shit out of my forearm.
Yeah, and I imagine this like I don't have any numbers. Like I could probably look it up, but I'm too lazy. uh, going back to my childhood, this is the type of game like the arcade that sat on its own on the corner there, and you played it while you're waiting for one of the good arcades like Street Fighter 2 to open up.
Yeah, this is like your backup was
Yeah.
while your quarter was sitting on the other machine that you got
Yeah,
next.
exactly. This is like taking the your second choice to the prom, right?
I see. I was not in the arcade generation really. Like we played in the arcade because arcades were still around, obviously, but it not to the extent of like that it was in the 80s where like that was the culture and it was like you see it in shows, right? Like Stranger Things where she's playing Dig Dug and like people are stacking their quarters on the machine, like I got next or whatever, and that's how you would like claim your spot.
That was the closest to world peace we've ever had.
Yeah, like I always thought like what is that? Like you put your quarter there, but like is someone gonna take it or like
No, I remember like the Street Fighter cabinet when I was young there, you would walk up and you'd put your quarter in the line of quarters there. And for some reason, you knew exactly what you were. You're the fourth person to go, so you count 4 games there. And the rule was the person who wins goes on. The next quarter puts it in.
nice, yeah, and
Yeah,
that's such a nice like unspoken. It's like the rule of the arcade, like the gentleman's agreement of the
yeah.
arcade, and ladies.
And it was great because the teenagers, they're there kind of enforcing the rules, right? You couldn't
Yeah,
double stack your quarter and be like, I'm going to play 6 games in a row. It's like, no, you get one quarter, one play. You win, you go on. You lose, you put your quarter at the back of the pile.
or you get a fucking wedgie.
Or you get beat the fuck up.
Yeah,
Remember, these kids smoked back in the 80s.
yeah. Put out cigarettes right in your.
Yeah,
Couldn't even finish that
leather
sentence.
jackets there, like the Warriors.
Yeah,
Asshole, come out and play. Clink, clink, clink.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that was a better time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Smoking cigarettes everywhere when everything was. You remember those like? This is good. This is remember corner with Sam and Brian, like the cigarette machines. I used to play with those
Oh
knobs.
yeah. Now we got rid of those like in Canada before you guys did. So we'd always take like trips
Yeah.
down to New York and stuff like that, and there'd be
Hmm.
cigarette machines all over the place, and it was like mind blowing to us. But the friggin' these were high school trips, so the kids in
Yeah.
high school there, when they were just trying to be cool, they would like load up on cigarettes out of those machines before we went back over the border, and they'd all get confiscated at the border. It was great.
Um. Yeah. We didn't get rid of those until like the late '90s.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, what a wonderful time to live. Everything
Yeah.
was so accessible. I mean, like, it was harder to get booze than it was to get smokes.
Yeah. For sure.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, you had to actually go to a store and pretend to be an old person to get booze.
Oh right. No, I mean like you just walk up to one of those, like just make sure no one's looking, and you just
Yeah,
friggin'
even
throw
if
quarters
somebody's
into a
looking,
machine.
90% of the people just did not give a shit.
Well, they were always in like the what do you call that? The vestibule or whatever, like the little like entryway of the restaurant or whatever, where like the
Oh,
door
yeah.
between the two doors by the candy machines. It's like candy, cigarettes, and like bouncy balls or whatever.
Oh, those things. Yeah, the quarter machine's good. We're way off
Yeah,
topic.
we we were talking about the so we talked about the enemies.
We talked
What else
about
we got?
cigarettes.
We talked about cigarettes. We talked about putting out cigarettes on children.
Now remember, this is 1943, so this happened during World War II, around the end of it. And cigarettes were actually issued in the ration packs for soldiers, so we were on topic but off topic.
Right. Yes. Yes. Lucky Strikes.
Lucky Strikes, yes, absolutely. But
Um,
what do you want to talk about next?
I mean, we could talk about bosses, but I've only seen the first one and I
Oh,
couldn't
the
get past
bosses
it.
are rinse and repeat. That's one thing about
Yeah.
this game is it's very arcadey in its style. Like even
Yeah.
if the style of boss changes, it's still the same thing. You're just shooting the turrets, and then when you get them all done, the boss crashes or blows up or dies.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
pretty much going to be like different configurations of like, okay, like the first level was like a bunch of planes. This next level is going to be a bunch of planes, but like maybe more of them and they come at you in different formations. And then,
Yeah, and it's a pattern-based thing. So the more you
yeah.
play, the more you learn it, and the more you learn it, the easier it becomes, and you figure out where you need to be, and then eventually it just becomes second nature, right?
Right. And you have to like you have to play it enough to know like, okay, the red planes are coming over here, so that's where I can get my item, or like, this is coming on this side, so I want to move over here and shoot planes instead of the you know ship turrets that are on this side and that kind of thing. But like, yeah, I don't know like what kind of savant is getting all the way through this game in an arcade, but it would be very, very impressive.
Yeah, like all the people would gather around, and then he'd turn around like he was some hot shit there, and then he'd just get his ass kicked. Fucking nerd.
Yeah. Oh man, I just like high level arcade, like, or especially like old school arcade game play, or even just like we talked about, like one of our earlier episodes on Battletoads. It's like, just hats off to whoever can
Yeah, and these
friggin'
these
figure
people
that
have
out.
like that special knack there to just kind of get right into the game because it takes a lot of focus to beat this game.
Yes, it does. Yeah, you really have to like. I was finding myself getting distracted by all the stuff on the screen, but really was most successful when I was kind of focused on the plane itself instead of trying to like move around and shoot all the planes that were coming at me. I was like, if you kind of move yourself around and avoid like the little bullets and like the little shit that's coming at you, you can dodge stuff and be a little bit more successful. But you really do have to take your attention off the plane sometimes, because like when the red ones come in, you want to make sure you're hitting them and that kind
Well,
of
you got to
thing.
move around as well, right? Like
Yeah,
half the time I died is because I didn't notice a bullet that was slowly going across the screen.
yeah, and it's like
Yeah, and it just nicks you, like tips the pixel on the end of your wing there, and next thing you know, you're down.
yeah, just like, yeah. And I don't know if it was this way on the arcade. I played it a little bit at work the other day, actually, but not long enough, because I think it was like the clicking of the buttons was pretty annoying to the other people that were in the coffee break area. But
Hell of
um, when I was playing it on I emulated it on my computer here. Like the NES version is like way stripped down from like the graphic capabilities of an arcade machine. So
Oh,
it's
of
like,
course, it's
yeah,
half the power.
yeah. But that noise when you get below like 10 energy
Oh
fucking
god.
sucks. It's
Wee
worse than
wee
the
wee wee
Pokemon
wee
one.
wee 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 wee. Don't stop that
Yeah, I mean,
noise.
you've heard the Pokemon one, right? Like the original Game Boy game, like Pokemon, like where it didn't stop. When you were in critical health, it was just that sound is not as
Yeah, it's
bad
like
as the
Legend of
1944.
Zelda when you're at less than a heart there, and it's doing
Oh,
the constant beeping there, and you just want to like hit mute, but you can't because you use the volume to listen for enemies.
yeah, it's like, I fucking get it, okay?
Yeah. Thanks. I'm gonna die. Way to rub it in, dick.
Yeah, it's just like, that. I don't miss that. And in modern, to go back to Pokemon and modern Pokemon games, it's like it'll make that sound like maybe twice, like a little doo 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 doo, and then stop. They've learned
Yeah.
their lesson.
Yeah,
That's
you
one
wanna
lesson they learned.
inform the player, but you don't want to sit there and annoy them. Like
Yeah, be like, hey, remember that you still are low on health? Still are low on health? Still are low on health?
yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, like it's like Navi
Yeah.
from Legend of
Hey,
Zelda. Hey,
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 listen.
hey. Oh fuck.
Shut the fuck up.
That was annoying. Like we should do a whole episode on things that annoyed us about video games.
That's actually a good one. We should
Yeah.
write that down.
We'll tuck that in the old side project folder.
Yeah, that's a good one. That is a really good one.
All right. The weapons. What did you think of the weapons? Did you actually get to try out anything more than just like the shotgun spread?
Um, there were two kind of spread guns, and one was good, and the shotgun one sucked balls.
I didn't mind the shotgun at first because it cleared off a lot that was out in front of you, and you could actually shoot the bullets coming at you, and the shotgun was good for that.
Oh, yeah. Because otherwise, like, I actually, now that you mentioned that, I did notice that you could shoot the bullets coming at you because of the shotgun, but otherwise, like, you're not hitting one of those fucking things. Like,
No, it's a short range though. That's the disadvantage to it. But you
yeah,
get
that's why I didn't
the
like it.
second shotgun power up there, and all of a sudden you get your like forward shooting guns back, and the shotgun is more powerful.
Yeah, it's like the Contra spread gun. Like, it's like two in the front and then like one
One
each
in
at
the
like
back.
45.
Hi-oh.
What's that?
Two in the front, one in the back. The shocker.
Oh, Jesus. That's the stunner, isn't it? Two and two?
No, two and one.
Two and one. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Two and
okay.
two is the Spock.
Ugh. Just
Again, off topic. Let's get
moving
back on
on.
topic here, Sam. God damn it.
So there's two up the middle and then two at 45 degrees, which really helps. But yeah, I liked having that range, and I didn't like it would only cover like half the screen with that shotgun one.
Yeah, and that required a little more maneuvering, which put you right in the harm's way. But
Yeah.
it was still a better gun than your standard because at least it actually had some kick to it as well.
Yeah, it did a little bit more damage too. Yeah. And then there's the power, like the lightning strike.
Oh yeah, your power strike, but the lightning strike itself is your special there.
Yeah, I didn't like it because I think it actually hurts you too.
I can't remember. I didn't actually pay attention whether it did or not, but I kind of use it by accident most of the time because I hit the wrong button when the level starts.
Yeah.
So,
I
two buttons on the controller, 50-50 chance, and I use my special attack right off the bat.
Yeah, I think it does because I mean I couldn't prove it unless I like did it again, but I was pretty sure that like my health was at I don't know 40 something and I used it and it dipped way down, like more than it was ticking down on its own. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
it does.
it probably uses your health to power it, so you kind of have unlimited, as long as you have power.
Yeah, what other game was like that? Freaking Turtles in Time.
Oh yeah, I never used a special in that game, so I keep forgetting that
Yeah.
that game
Well, you
actually
use it and
had
it
that
uses your
option.
health.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this game's got to be pretty much the same idea, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that must have been like a pretty common arcade
Well, yeah, the more they
mechanic.
can drain your health, the more quarters you're going to drain into the machine.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
So it makes sense. Uh, Next
Yeah.
weapon was the three-way machine gun. Did you ever get that one? Like it just your standard machine gun shooting in three directions?
I think that's the one that I called the spread gun. That's the
Spread
one I
gun? No,
was
the
thinking of.
shotgun was the spread gun.
Okay.
Five bullets, short range shot, but the machine gun was just basically like not as wide of a spread, but
Yes.
or no, maybe it was the one that shot three straight in the. Oh God, I gotta look it
That
up.
that's the one I did like. I did like that one. Yeah, that's the one I was kind of referring to as a spread gun.
What was it? All right. Oh, of course it won't show me. Anyways, I never got that one, but it was definitely one of the power ups you could get. So
Yeah.
if you tried it, I'm gonna yield to your expertise. If you didn't try it, we'll just lie about it and say that all it did was make your engine overheat.
Yeah, you should always yield to my expertise.
Oh yeah, I should, but I won't because I'm too much of what do they call it? An alpha male.
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that popular nowadays? Or
Alpha
look at me.
male, like what is it? Like beta cock and
Oh, beta cuck. God. I miss the day before social media when these terms didn't exist.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Like, your parents just walked down the block and they came home in the morning there. Then you find out it was like some sort of key party or something like that. So
Whoa,
those were the ignorant, happy days.
that got weird.
Next weapon is called auto, and all it is you can hold the button down and shoot bursts of
That
8
I just
bullets.
wish was a standard. I just wish that was
Yeah,
standard. Holy fuck.
that's not standard because this is when Nintendo was trying to sell turbo controllers, and Big Turbo was really getting their hands in on the action there with their lobby groups.
Oh, you're not going turbo, are you? That's
Yeah,
not
it's
what that
like
means, but I just thought I'd throw it in there.
you want to put a turbo option with the standard controller? Not while I'm alive.
I
Says
had
Jonathan Turbo.
I had a turbo controller for the Sega that was kind of cool. It was like a 6-button controller and like had a switch on it, and you could so it would work for some games and some games it wouldn't, but you could like flip it to crazy fast or whatever.
Yeah,
There's no advantage to that, but
I've had some turbo controllers, and I very rarely use turbo. In
yeah, I
fact,
mean it doesn't help you. It just makes the game fucking
no, like
harder.
the times where I need turbo, like where you're like button mashing to get something done, I can actually do it faster on my own than the turbo actually does. So I just why have turbo controllers? Screw it.
Well, yeah, because if you're speeding up the speed of the game, but your thumb still goes the same speed, you're actually slowing yourself down.
I'm
You'd
gonna
have
have to
to
go to the scientists in the lab on that math, but right? All right, two more weapons. We have the shell. Never saw it. Couldn't really tell you anything about it.
Yeah, I never got this one. And there's a laser
Yeah.
too. Jeez.
Uh, it's the only weapon that, like the notes I have here, is the only weapon that can be shot down by holding the button down is the shell. So
Okay.
just sounds like it's a straight shot, a little more power, more automatic. Yeah, and then the laser, which of course is indicative of the 1943 eras when lasers were very popular.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, very rare, very powerful. Obtained by collecting the Maneki Neko, or the beckoning cat that flashes around the screen. Something I have never seen in my life.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just kind of like a special item you get at some point in the game.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
I
it's
mean, I
great
know.
to write all this stuff down from a wiki there, but like, if
Yeah.
you can never actually get it, like, you really can't talk about it.
This is stuff that like back in the day would have been like mythical status. Like, did you ever see the Maneki Neko? Like people would even know what it's called, but it's like it's exactly like how like the World War II pilots would see like unexplained objects or whatever. It was just that cat. Like if they would have just collected it, they would have had a laser.
Oh, there was cat flying in sky. Oh my god.
That was what the Foo Fighters were. It was just the freaking Maneki Neko cat. Go grab it and get a laser.
Well, exactly. All right. Why don't you run us through the three special attacks, Sam?
Yeah, I only used the lightning attack.
Yep, same. That's
And
why I'm
I think
making
it's
you do this part.
what's that?
That's why I'm making you do this part. I only did the lightning attack as well.
Okay. And it only attacked air targets. Like I would like desperately be trying to use it to clear off like the ship turrets, and it just doesn't work.
No, it's
Um
just lightning only hurts planes.
yeah, it's an air attack. There I guess is a tsunami attack. That's pretty cool. Um Destroys small targets, damages ships, which is great because that actually would help you take out some of these with like the multiple turrets on them.
Yeah, and some of the turrets get quite annoying there because if you have like six turrets shooting, and they'll always face towards your plane before they shoot. So
Oh yeah,
there's
and check
ways
that out.
around it, but if you have six of them, you got like, well, each shoot two bullets, so you got 12 bullets flying at you.
Yeah, and you got to really dance around them. Um, oh, and it says can only be used in surface sections. I forgot about that. Like, there's different sections of each mission where, like, you're flying above the clouds at like a high altitude, and then like you're playing, like it's like you pass on to the next section and you lower your altitude, and that's where you've got like different types of planes and a lot more of the watercraft that you can shoot at. Um, yeah, I guess it didn't really click with me, but now that I'm thinking about
Yeah,
like
and once you
high
get past a
altitude.
certain point, the water just turns into a blue background screen, and that's the boss fight.
Yeah, plain blue. So I guess it's kind of like three sets of altitude, like your highest altitude above the clouds to get to like the group of ships that you're going to attack, down into the mid level and then down to the surface basically to fight the boss. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and the boss isn't always on the ground. Like, so there's one level I was looking at, and you stay up in the air there, and the boss is actually a plane.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the same idea though. It just has turrets, and you shoot the turrets, and the plane crashes. I mean, there really doesn't feel like a lot of variety in the type of enemy you fight.
No, I mean it's just a top down kind of not rail shooter, but it's a top down shooting game. It's yeah, there's
Yeah,
not going to be a
indicative
ton going
of
on.
many shooting games like it.
Um And then the last one is cyclone attack. So it destroys all enemy fire. So that just means like the bullets, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just means the bullets.
If you got bullet hell going on and you use the cyclone, it'll wipe everything and let you
You
kind of
hope.
just
Nobody
decide.
knows because nobody's seen it.
Yeah. Well, you have to obtain the rare, I don't know, whatever cat.
It's up there. Yeah, it's under laser. It's the Maneki Neko. I'll have to get Super Dave on the show there to explain what all this Japanese talk is about.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Five items in this game, then a bunch of bonus items as well. As you're flying through and you shoot the red planes, you get the POW that shows up, and it's literally the word POW.
Yeah.
And that just restores 8 energy, and it took me a long time to figure out that's what it was doing, because I would
Huh.
look at my little, counter in the bottom, and it would be counting down pretty fast, and by the time I actually got the POW, it would already be down 8, and I look again, and it would be back up to the number I first looked at, so it was, wasn't 100% sure what it did at first.
Yeah. A little math and you figured it out.
Yeah, exactly, went down to the boys in the lab,
Yeah.
did
What's the verdict?
did some experiments there, and, they came back with the results 3 weeks later, $100,000 in debt, and, yeah, it restores 8 energy. But not like the energy tank, which is another one. You keep shooting the POW, and it'll actually rotate through different types of, items. So
Yeah, this
it'll
is
rotate item to, weapon, back to, the POW, back to a weapon, to an energy tank, which is like the barrel, I think.
yeah, it takes a while to get through to the energy tank.
Yeah, so, you keep doing that, and the energy tank just it's the same thing, but it restores 24 energy. Next up, you got the, Yashichi, which is, again, a word I would never pronounce on my own if I didn't have to, but it
Ye
completely refills your energy, but it's rare.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's the one that's a barrel, I think, right? Because I found one in the first level in one of the ships. I found you could shoot one of the ships.
possibly, but there's
Yeah, it's a
also, if you look down the list, there's actually an actual barrel down there in the bonus items.
oh, then maybe that's what it was. Yeah, it's probably a
Maybe,
barrel.
yeah. After that one,
Yashichi.
the Yashichi, you get the
Yashichi.
star, which resets the special weapon timer and gives 5,000 points. Now,
Yeah, I found one of those. There's like a set of like looks like jet planes that come through, red ones, and I got 1 star.
oh, look at you, very
Yeah,
lucky.
yeah.
And this one I saw in a video. I was just kind of thumbing through there. The side fighters, gets 2 planes on the side there. They shoot out bullets, adds to your like overall weapons footprint there, and they can be destroyed, but they are actually very, very useful. And
Oh,
they can
they
upgrade their weapons too.
holy shit. Yeah, I never saw that, but yeah, that would be really friggin' helpful.
Yeah, it was pretty good looking. The guy who was playing the game there on the playthrough, he was just wiping things right the f out. Uh, 6 bonus items you can get as well. Bamboo shoots. It gives you a stat point. This is what we were talking about. As you're flying and you find these things, it'll pause the game and go back to your stat screen. You can actually add a point to your. What is it? I think you have 6 options. Like there's attack, there's defense, and then a bunch of other ones you never raise the amount on.
These are so random. I wonder if these are like recycled assets from other games. It's like, why would you put bamboo shoots or dragonflies or strawberries? I'm just like looking down this list. Like these are all like really weird
Oh,
things to
of
put in.
course. Bamboo because Asian, you got to make that reference somehow. Dragonfly because dragons. Uh, I'm just making this up as I go, but
Yeah, but it's
yeah,
weird. It's like I wonder what made them decide on those things or like where they got those from. Like no one's designing bamboo shoots to give you a stat point. That just seems like a really weird choice.
yeah. Well, I do a deep dive into this, but I don't think there's a real answer for it other than that's what they decided.
Yeah, and I don't really care all that much. I'm just,
That's true. Yeah. All right. So bonus items: bamboo shoots 1 stat point. Dragonflies give you 2 stat points. The strawberry, which I couldn't actually find any information on.
this is the strawberry.
Yeah,
Just have a
possibly.
strawberry.
Maybe it's just a delicious treat.
There you go. It's for your
Yeah.
pilot.
Yeah, and then you got the barrels, which replenish your weapons ammos, because something we didn't mention is your special weapons like the shotgun and stuff actually have a limited amount of shots in them.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
you can go for a while, then you go down to the surface level, and all of a sudden your shotgun turns back into the regular little pew pew weapon there, and that's
Yeah.
why. So the barrel replenishes that ammo.
Yeah, there's a counter down in the bottom that appears when you pick up one of the special weapons.
Yeah. Um, the cow is a large energy recovery, and the Moby Chan replenishes your weapon ammo again. Like these are just things you find throughout the world. There's no real special thing about them.
Yeah, nothing refuels and re-energizes a plane like taking on a cow.
Of course.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good way to Good way to power yourself up there. Just pick up a cow.
Milk does the body good.
It sure does.
Yeah. Level design. When I went through the playthrough and I was just kind of powering through it, I was trying to see if there was any variety in the levels, and there really wasn't. It's how do I put this? It is literally just kind of copy and paste from level to level with a new boss enemy and kind of like a new pattern of the enemies.
Yeah.
And this
It's
is what
just
you
like
kind of
more
expect out
planes.
of an
Like
arcade game, though.
it just reminds me of what is the oh shoot. Yeah, they're playing Space Invaders in Futurama. You remember that episode? Where it's
Yeah,
like the what
the
if
one where
one?
the Omicrons come down there and they want like to do
Yeah.
laundry because they need quarters.
Yeah, but Lure is just like increase speed, change direction.
Drop down one level, increase speed, change
Yeah.
direction. Yeah,
That's what this reminded me of. It's just like faster, more planes.
yeah, pretty much. Faster, more planes, change the pattern.
Yeah.
Go to the
Change pattern.
surface. No, it's yeah, it's no big variety in the levels, but if you're playing this, it's mindless fun, and I have an appreciation for mindlessly fun games where you can just
Yeah.
turn it on, pick it up. No big long story at the beginning. You just start flying and you start shooting, and there's something like zen about that.
Yeah, for sure. It's like if you get
Yeah.
real good at it, this is
It,
one of those games where you can just jump into it and probably get pretty far
well, even if
or
you
even
don't get
decently
real
far.
good at it, it's just one of those
Yeah.
games you can play until you die, and then it's like a time waster if you have 20 minutes on your hands.
Yeah, I played it for a good, I don't know, like hour or so yesterday trying different combinations of like the stat points and doing all that kind of stuff, and I still didn't beat it, but like I got pretty close to I'm sure repetition wise, like if I were to throw it in again tonight, I could probably maybe get past the first boss and then grab that code, and once you got the code, you're set. You just,
Yeah. I can happily make it to level 2 there, like to the level 2 boss, and that's usually where I bite it, but no, yeah, you're right. And like repetition, if I picked it up again tonight, I might make it to level 3 if in an hour or so, but
yeah.
again, this is just one of those games you pick up and you play. Like you don't really have to have a yearning for it, and you don't need to remember where the story came from.
No, although it does help to remember where those fucking red planes are when you're going through.
Oh yeah, it does. And the
But if
fact that you're fighting the Japanese and
Yeah, but if you start accumulating codes and you're able to like, start on level 3 because that's the furthest you got last time, like you can start to remember where those planes are and, build your skill that way. But
yeah, and
it's
if you
it's
really
just
want
fun.
to try it, just jump online and go get the codes anyways because they're out there. Like the game's old enough that somebody's written the codes somewhere. Like go to GameFAQs and I'm pretty sure you'll find a code for every level.
Yeah, that's what I did. I tried like the level 2, level 3 just to see. I mean, it's just confirmed. It's just harder.
Yeah, and that's it. 24 total levels in this game. The biggest thing is they get more difficult as you go. So
Yeah.
some special items hidden in there, but nothing you really need to beat the game. Just stuff that makes it just a touch easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the controls, very simple. Move around the screen with your like it's top down, so you can move your plane around the entire screen.
Right.
Auto scrolls, so you're not really pushing forward, and then you have a button to shoot, a button for the special. Push them both, and you do a loop. That's it. It's not difficult controls.
Do a barrel roll. uh
That wasn't funny.
no, I
That
know you didn't
wasn't.
laugh at that.
It's a loop de loop, dick.
Yeah.
Put on an air show for all the surface vessels. You
Yeah.
know. Anyways, any frustrations with this game beyond the difficulty?
No, it's just fun. Like, of
Yeah,
course, like you're gonna get killed and be like, well, what the fuck? But it's like, it is what it is. It's not bullshitty. Like there's I'm sure ways to build up your skill to get good enough. I'm just not. I mean, I've never was. It's just fun to play. Whenever
yeah. I
you
don't
see it,
think I'll actually ever pick this game up again willingly.
no.
Uh, from this point on, like it's not a game that sits in the back of my mind.
No, but it does have that, for me, it has that distinction of like being one of the first games I ever played or saw my dad play or anything. So it's fun for that. And like, still, if you go to a barcade or you go somewhere and there's a 1943 cabinet, I'm probably going to stick a quarter in there.
Yeah, yeah, I would do the same thing as well. I guess that would be the only way. Have a beer in my hand. The '80s music is pumping on the jukebox there, and all of a sudden it's time for me to put on my neon wind jacket and go play some arcades.
Yep. Hop on your skateboard and,
Skateboard, God.
do what the fellow youths do.
And do with the fellow. Gonna go tease my hair.
What's left of it, right?
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, now we can tease our beards though. Like we can do cool stuff like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. All right, let's wrap up the final thoughts here
Yeah,
and
yeah,
tuck this one away in the old backlog folder.
yeah. What are you giving this out of 10?
Out of 10, well, like we said, it's a fun little game. So you gotta remember it's a product of its time. It's taken from an arcade. I don't hate this game. I have no desire to finish it, but I'm gonna give it a good solid 7.5.
Woo, that's high.
It is high because, like I said, like
Yeah,
sometimes fun is just picking up a game and playing. Like this is why I
yeah,
still play NHL games, is because I pick it up, play a game, put it down for a week.
yeah. Um,
How about you? What are you going to give it?
I don't
12,
know.
13?
Yeah, 12 or 13. It's gonna get a bit of a bump because of the sentimental value, but I'm gonna give it like a 6.5. It's like, everyone should play it. Just try to play it if you haven't played it before. It's
Well,
fun.
play it or a game like it. I'm surprised there
Yeah.
hasn't been a lot of indie games that kind of mimic it, but I'm pretty sure if I actually took the time to look for it, I would find a few.
So yeah, people are gonna write in as soon as this goes live. They're like, actually, there's
Yeah.
800 of them
Yeah,
because it's probably like
actually, if you look at this game here, there's so
yeah,
many.
it's probably like one of the fucking easiest kinds of games to make. So I'm sure there's a ton of them.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll find out. Next year, I'm signed up for a game development course, so maybe I'll
Oh, you
become
should
the
make
next
one.
famous. I'll become a famous game developer or something. I have no idea.
Yeah, Brian's gonna make Flappy Bird 2.
The reflapping.
The reflapping. Get flapped.
All right, so we have to put this on our tier list, even though it won't show up until this episode goes live.
Let's
What would you
see.
call this for a tier? Like, what tier would you put this game?
Hmm.
Like, even though I gave it a 7.5, it might not be reflected in the tier list.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I'd give it like a C tier.
See,
Yeah.
mm, with Garbage Pail Kids and Rock and Roll Racing as of recording.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna fight you. I'm gonna say C tier as well.
Yeah, that's not a bad. It's not a bad place for it.
It's fun, but it's not. It's not a game that I yearn to play. Like that's where I think the B tier sits. Anything above B tier, I have
Mhm.
this yearning to play once in a while.
Yeah, and that kind of gels with those games because if you remember when we talked about those games on those episodes, those that was like your exact comment. Like it was fun to play this week, but I probably won't go back to it.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about this game.
Mhm.
Except for it was fun to play once. I just probably won't. Maybe we'll have to sit down and actually criteria out the full tiers, make some sort of standard. Then again, I like winging it because it's more
Yeah,
fun that way.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of work.
All right, let's wrap this up, Sam, and then I don't know. We'll go get beer or something. You just made me want beer
Yeah,
again.
I don't know what's next week because we don't know when this is going live.
Yeah,
So,
and this
well,
is
maybe there'll be an outro after this. So,
yeah, possibly. And this is again, this is part of our attempt to build a backlog so that if life gets in the way, we can actually still keep an episode coming out.
that's
So
right.
the person who has to end up getting this live will be the one recording the intro and the outro. So until next week, where we're going to be playing insert game here.
Sam and or Brian, take it away.
Yeah, keep on gaming. Oh shit.
So you say Sam will be back next week?
Yeah, man, thanks for helping out.
Yeah, no problem. I was just hoping,
What?
Well, I was just hoping I could take over for Sam.
Oh, no, I can't do that to Sam.
But it would be perfectly evil.
Yeah, I know, but Sam really is the heart of the show.
Yeah, he is. Well, if you ever need a fill-in host, you know my number.
Still 666?
Ha! No, that's low-key racist.
Yeah, sorry.